Recently, my favorite Italian-American YouTuber, Bobby Tonelli, made a video about this camera, the Sony A7CR, and how he wished more camera manufacturers would make cameras like this. I totally agree. This video is really just my sort of upvote on Bobby's video that I agree, and I think that, this kind of a camera will sell like hotcakes if other manufacturers make them. Right? The Fuji X100VI sold out everywhere. The Ricoh GR3 sold out everywhere. The Canon G7X Mark III sold out everywhere. The natural progression for the people buying those cameras would be to something like this if it was just a little sexier, right? Throw a joystick on here, put a better EPF, make a screen that flips up instead of out, or put the A7R5 and A9 III screen on there, and man, you've got a sexy beast of an everyday carry, street shooter, hybrid shooter, even like wedding event photography shooter camera. And I think like that even surmounts the kind of like so-so Sony user experience and so-so menus, just because it's such a sexy hardware form factor. So Sony would love to see a Mark II of this with those improvements, but also I think other camera companies could pretty easily do this. First, there's Canon. There's sort of a gap in the Canon lineup. You have the R5 Mark II and the R6 Mark II, which are very professional cameras, a lower resolution and a higher resolution version, both great hybrid cameras. And then you sort of go to like cameras like this, the Canon R8. I plan to make a full video about this camera, but man, put a joystick on here, put a screen that flips up, a sensor protector, maybe a rangefinder, and like you're in the game, right? They kind of need a camera in between this and the R6 Mark II, and that camera could fit perfectly. Make it $1,500, $2,000, and you're in the game. Or even like make a higher end version with the R5 Mark II sensor and a lower end version like Sony did, with the R6 Mark II sensor having, whatever it is, an R9, I guess, I don't know, R4.5. I don't really know. Two with the R6 sensor, and then an R version with the R5 sensor. Just, Canon, you've got it. You got the tech, you got the great ergonomics, all that stuff. Also put in a bigger battery, the R5 battery with a slightly bigger grip too. Like this is just a little tiny, a little hard to hold because it's so small almost. But yeah, Canon could definitely do this. Nikon, I don't have one here. Make a smaller ZF with the Z8 sensor in it. You know what I mean? Put a joystick on it and you're done. You're so close. Leica, this is an easy one. Q3, put a joystick on it, make it interchangeable lens. Done. Perfect camera. I'm selling everything else, basically. Well, except for medium format, of course. Panasonic, now this is an interesting one. I'll make a whole video about this, but the S9 was such a heartbreaking camera. The form factor was just right, but they had the wrong screen on it. It didn't have an EVF. It didn't have a hot shoe. It didn't have a sensor protector. It didn't have a joystick. It didn't have enough dials. That just like the camera's almost unusable for photography. What's especially heartbreaking about Panasonic is that they've made a near perfect camera in the past. This GX8 is just darn near perfect. This cool EVF, could have used a flipped up screen, could have used a joystick, but otherwise just the form factor and ergonomics are perfect. The dials are so nice and clicky. The EVF and screen are good resolution. It's like the right weight, the right size. It's so good. You put the Panasonic Leica 15mm or that 42.5 Noctilux, Noctiprime, whatever it was called on here, and you've just got like a perfect everyday carry street shooter. So like either just make a micro four thirds version of this with the joystick, or even better, put a full frame sensor in this guy, and again, just like you're in perfect camera territory there. And finally, Fuji, little Fuji. They're kind of already making these cameras. It's just they're doing it with APS-C and not full frame, and they really, really, really need to come out with an X Pro 4, X Pro 5, whatever it's going to be called. So, good job, Fuji. It's too bad you don't make full frame cameras. Also, it's too bad you haven't made a medium format sexy camera, or rangefinder, or something with this like XT5, XT50 form factor to it. Plan to make a video on this XT50, or a couple of videos actually, I should say. I actually really like this camera, but same thing, it's an APS-C sensor. There's problems with that. And I've also kind of been playing with using the GFX 100S Mark II as my everyday carry rather than my X100 or a Q3, for example. So I'll make another video about that. But like Fuji's another one where like just come out with the X Pro 4. Just make a rangefinder medium format GFX camera, and you would also be in like very close to perfect camera territory. Also, Fuji cameras. Why doesn't the shutter come down to protect the sensor? Like, you've been doing this for 10 years. Canon's doing it, Nikon's doing it, Sony's doing it. Catch up, Fuji. Oh, also fix your autofocus. So again, kind of just wanted this video to be an upvote on Bobby Tonelli's video. Totally agree. The Sony A7CR is where so many manufacturers should be at in terms of building out their lineup. And just kind of wanted to provide some thoughts on how other manufacturers could actually do this practically. So what are your thoughts? Do you agree that all these camera manufacturers could do this and it would fit nicely in their lineup? Or are these pie in the sky, dreams that will never come true? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.